the pseudo sovereignty. You can imagine when Amin grabbed power here, Africans who wanted to oppose him could not do it easily because they were being told, Uganda is independent, Uganda is independent. And even when Amin was killing us, when we would try to get support from other people, we would be told, no, it is Amin's right to kill you because you are his subject. You are his subject. So that missed opportunity was a big setback. A united East African state with one army would never have allowed these tragedies to happen. Indeed, it is the East African cooperation that eventually enables us to solve these problems. However, coordinating multiple sovereign units is less efficient and less prompt in terms of action compared to a united East Africa. The third historic mission is to simply recognize the brotherhood and linkages among the African people and use them to achieve historic missions number one, prosperity, as well as number two, strategic security. As we have pointed out a number of times, the African race is only comprised of 4 groups of linguistic classification. These are the Niger-Congo, which includes the Bantu and the Kwa languages of West Africa, the Nilo-Saharan, which includes like our languages of the Nilotic languages and the Nilo-Hamitic, the Afro-Asiatic, which includes the languages of northern Ethiopia, and the Khoisan. Khoisan they are called the Bushmen in South Africa. They used to be called Bushmen. These groups have linguistic similarities within each cluster and linkages between them. In other speeches, I have demonstrated this. You can check on those explanations. The NLM line has been that the people we are trying to unite for the sake of their prosperity and strategic security are either similar or linked. It is therefore a betrayal for the African political classes to fail to grasp this and instead preach sectarianism, parochialism, etc. I therefore call on the Ugandans, especially the Bazukuru, to audit what has been achieved vis-à-vis the 3 historical tasks and the 4 ideological principles of the NRM, see what has been achieved and what remains to be done. Then you should do your own part to do what is not yet done. With patriotism, we have been able to unite the majority of Ugandans. That is why the NRM always wins with a majority on the first round when we go for elections. On the side of Pan-Africanism, we have revived the East African community together with the Wazee Daniel Arap Moi, Al Hassan Mwinyi, and Benjamin Mkapa. Later, our brothers from Rwanda, Burundi, Congo DRC, South Sudan, and recently Somalia joined the East African community. This has helped cross-border trade. Uganda exports goods and services worth US dollars 2.1 billion to the East African countries, and goods and services worth US dollars 2.157 billion to the COMESA countries. There are, however, still non-tariff barriers. With His Excellency William Ruto recently, we agreed to remove all these barriers against sugar, milk, eggs, fruit juices, etc. Saying that X country has got good rains this year and harvested a lot of maize, and therefore X country will either give quotas for maize from Y. Imagine there are two African countries, X and Y. They should be trading together. But 1 year, X says, this year I got a lot of rain and I harvested a lot of maize. So I don't allow your maize to come. The maize of Y. Or I allow what they call a quota, a certain amount. Either give quotas for maize from Y, or will not allow any maize imports from Y this year, is wrong. What happens? Why is it wrong? What happens to the maize growers in Y that year? Since the maize in Y will kudiba. Kudiba is our local word here, meaning that if you produce something and nobody buys, it's kudiba. So if the maize from Y this year kudibas, because in X this year they have got their own maize. What happens to the maize growers in Y that year? Since the maize in Y will kudiba, have no buyers, the farmers will migrate to coffee, a product that depends on the global market and does not have those hurdles. Then next year, there's a shortage of rain in X, and they want maize from Y. Sorry, the farmers were betrayed and they migrated to other products. This is the problem. The correct approach should be that maize from Y should not be blocked even if there is a bumper crop in country X. Let the market determine the maize that will be preferred by the consumers. If it is found that maize producers in country Y are cheaper consistently, then let East Africa allow them to specialize and feed all of us. This is what I said about Tanzanian rice. If Tanzania produces rice more cheaply, let us all buy from them. Stopping Tanzanian rice makes us commit several sins. Sin number one, you sabotage the Tanzanian rice grower by denying him market. Sin number two, you rob the Ugandan consumer by forcing him to buy rice from the inefficient Uganda rice grower at a higher price, because you are punishing the Ugandans to buy more expensive rice that it is because it is from Uganda. Sin number three, you invite Tanzania to counter-block our products. Sin number four, you claim as our own rice growers to remain inefficient and therefore not competitive. Okulemaza is to cripple. Because if you don't allow your child to run and compete, how will he develop capacity? Therefore, let all the East Africans insist on full free trade in the East African Community area and eventually in the whole continental free trade area, CFTA. This is the second task of the Ugandan wealth creators. Struggle for the completely free trade in the common market of East African Community and Africa. The first task of the Ugandan wealth creators is to ensure that all the adults engage in wealth creation in the four sectors of commercial agriculture with the Kibaro, Chura, Otita, Aymar profitability assessment, manufacturing and artisanship, services and ICT, using the provided funds of PDM, Emioga, GROW, UDB loans, etc. The third task, after we have fully recovered from the adverse effects of corona and other negative global phenomena, ensure that we provide completely free education for the Ugandan children in government primary and secondary and tertiary institutions, so that we achieve our target of Bona Basome, education for all. The fourth task is for the Ugandans and other East Africans that have got the right spectacles to see how the black race can survive as a free people, or even survive at all, to struggle and bring about the creation of the East African Federation. We have long proposed the movement of the willing. When Mwalimu was let down by his contemporaries on this issue, he moved with Mzee Karume to unite Tanganyika and Zanzibar to form Tanzania. It has been a great success. If we all can move together, it will be good. If we cannot, let the willing move. The crucial point that needs to be done is for the Pan-Africanists to be more active in pushing for the struggle for the political federation of East Africa and for the full economic integration of the common market of Africa. You should aggressively expose those who work for foreign interests and are always diverting our people through the media to the interests of the foreigners. If you read the papers, nobody is talking about African integration. You pick the papers, social media. What is your future if you don't know that integration of the market is our salvation? Then how can you be in leadership? What are you leading? Are you a leader unto darkness and death? How can it be that you read the papers? Nobody. Football, music, cinema, I don't know what. Okay, you can do those things, but you must survive fast. You should aggressively expose those who work for foreign interests and are always diverting our people through the media to the interests of the foreign parasites. The African race will enjoy football and music better. I am a footballer myself, you remember? However, from 1966, somebody asked me, what European football club do I support? I said, what? Me to support, I don't even know those clubs. I am a footballer, I was a footballer, but from 1966, when we started our struggles here, my mind is on the future of Africa. I like football. But you cannot have football if you are a slave. You cannot enjoy it. The African race will enjoy football and music better if you also contribute to the creating of an African center of gravity in the form of the East African Federation. Task 5, eliminate corruption in the public service and from among the political leaders. I've been getting good information about corrupt actors among the public servants, but also among the political actors. With firm evidence, we shall crush these traitors. Corruption is... Are you hearing me? You are hearing. I think the corrupt have brought rain. You know, they work with our rainmakers. I have been, this is not in the speech here, but I can mention to you, I have been hearing that people, even in my office, take bribes from people to bring people to see me. Can you imagine? But fortunately, recently we arrested one of them. He's alleged, according to the rules, I should not be accused that I'm saying something sub judice, which is in the court. He's alleged to have extorted shares and money from an investor who was coming from somewhere. He's now in court. So we are moving, we are going to get them. I have been hearing stories that there is a racket from the Minister of Finance to Parliament. To Parliament. I have been hearing, but now I have proof. Norecho ababi bafude banange I have been hearing that from Ministry of Finance they arrange with the accounting officers of ministries to come to Parliament, working with some people there to provide certain funds, provided you take a share. I didn't believe this one, now I have proof. So therefore, really the corrupt are like the foreigners. You know, some of these foreigners don't know Uganda, don't know us. When you see them doing what they are doing, they are those who support them. I'm very sorry for them, because they don't know how strong we are. We are patient. We don't overuse our strength. But if you make a mistake, you will see. So I don't know how those who threaten us, this one, please, we are wasting your time. We are not going to move. Because we are sure, people of here, this is our land. We want nothing from anybody, so you are wasting your time. Don't come with the threat, you are wasting your time. Uganda is a land of martyrs, but not only martyrs, but also heroes. We are celebrating 2 days. Because the martyrs don't shoot back. But we are both martyrs, but also heroes. So, on the 3rd, we are celebrating, I don't know how Martyrs Day. On the 9th, those who remember 9th, you come. Please, we are wasting your time. We are not going to move. Because we are sure, we are people of here, this is our land. We want nothing from anybody, so you are wasting your time. Don't come with the threat, you are wasting your time. Land is a land of martyrs, but not only martyrs, but also heroes. We are celebrating 2 days. Because the martyrs don't shoot back. But we are both martyrs, but also heroes. On the 3rd, we are celebrating Martyrs Day. On the 9th, you remember 9th, you come. We shall be celebrating Heroes Day. We are fighters. Nobody can play around here. So I feel really amazing that some of our people can join this corruption. knowing that we have the capacity to crush all this group. So now I have got proof that what I've been hearing as a rumor is actually true. So I don't know how we can arrange, what do you call it? Amnesty. No amnesty. Very good. So it means that you show them the way. The situation of inexperienced, careerist-minded leaders who do not listen to the advice of the NRM is further complicated by the bloodthirsty parasites in the form of the unregulated money lenders who charge extortionate interest rates from these desperate political actors when they come to borrow money for unuseful expenditures. I've already directed the Minister of Finance to cap the interest rates chargeable by money lenders. The inflation rate in Uganda is 3%. Why should the commercial banks charge 20% interest? How about the money lenders charging 36% or more? This is pure extortion. The PDM and the Myoga funds are going to become the poor people's banks, able to lend at 20% or less after 24 months. We are going, this PDM money, people are trying to sabotage it, but I can hear it is beginning to penetrate. People are beginning to understand it now. They are beginning, slowly, the villagers are beginning to appreciate. That's what I hear. The other source, I have already directed the Attorney General to guide the Minister of Finance as to how he can criminalize this extortion by the money lenders. The other source of corruption has been the fundraising that is borne mainly by the opportunistic politicians over-anxious to please parts of their electorate by pledging money for the fundraising that they do not have. We are due to meet to resolve this diversion. I agreed with the leader that we should meet and really discuss the issue of fundraising because this is part of the pressure that makes leaders make mistakes. Uganda's economy and society are moving forward, the mistakes by some actors notwithstanding. I was reading some comments, especially in the Monitor. You know, Monitor is a mouthpiece of foreign interests here, the Monitor newspaper. Oh, talking about this. There's one of them who was writing today. I glanced through, was saying that Uganda has low inflation by fortune. That is by fortune. Imagine. He doesn't want to say that NRM has managed the economy well. That's why inflation is low. That it is a mixer. It was fortune that we have got low inflation. It's not fortune. It is planning. Monitor Bambi Mbasaside. But Monitor, the other time, I saw a cow talking. When you see a cow talking, then you know that Jesus is about to come. You showed me that picture of the Monitor. Abantu bange muntekero akamonitor ako. Bring it properly over the tune. Naye abalabe balina omulimu wano basabotaginga enkuba eremye ate kati batandise. Now Ugandans turn to local products to combat high cost of living. You remember our war with the importers. This was, Rekerau, hold it there. This was Uganda Monitor newspaper. A cow talking. Saying that because we put tax on the imported products, imported dead people's clothes, and that rubbish from outside, that now Ugandans turn to local products. This was, which date was this? Huh? 30th of what? Of May. You people, you get Monitor. Ente etaniso kwogera. A cow is talking. Because that's what we said. Why don't you buy the local textiles which are being made here? So Katonda jali aba monitor Katonda abayisemu okwogera ebyamazima. But otherwise they were trying to. Thank you very much. You can move on. Otherwise, in today's paper, I was trying to say, oh, this one. But you listen carefully. I will conclude with that. Uganda's economy and society are moving forward. The mistakes by some actors notwithstanding. The foreigners interfering in our internal affairs are not a threat at all. There is no foreigner who can threaten us. No foreigner can threaten us. I have written a piece I will share with the Ugandans on that. The real threat to Africa's progress have been internal weaknesses, such as undermining the private sector. I mean, 1972 when he expelled the Indians, and Mzee Obote, 1970 when he announced the Nachivu announcements, interfering with the private sector. Wrong concept of army building, sectarianism, corruption, etc. Otherwise, Africa's ability to defeat the imperialists had been demonstrated by Samora Machel defeating the entire Portuguese army in Mozambique in 1974, Robert Mugabe and ZANU defeating the Ian Smith regime in 1980 in Zimbabwe, the Cuban army comprised mainly of black soldiers defeating the White Boer army at Quito Cuanavale in Angola in 1988, etc. So our armies defeated European armies in the 1970s. It is our internal weaknesses that have since that time given the impression that Africa is weak. NRM has correct philosophical, private sector-led efforts, ideological, the politics of interest and not identity, and sectarianism, and strategic wealth creators and integration to create markets for their products positions. That is why the economy is growing in spite of the betrayal by the parasites. With the crushing of the corruption, Uganda, given our overall correct positions, is unstoppable. Everything else is in place. What is the problem now is just corruption. In the budget speech, I will add some more information on this line, saying that everything else is in place now. It is only corruption and a few other mistakes that can sabotage what we are doing. Therefore, the Right Honourable Speaker, I thank the Parliament for the following laws you passed since my State of the Nation address. Those laws are put in Annex 1. I put it as Annex 1 in this speech. In the coming year, the Executive will present the following bills to Parliament for enactment into law. I attached them as Annex 2. They will be attached to the speech. Finally, I want to salute the Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, and the NRM MPs. In the past, there was a risky and shallow tendency by some actors that would try to use Parliament to undermine the Ugandan revolution, which is part of the African revolution. This, of course, was a miscalculation that was provocative, but we managed to handle it peacefully. Right Honourable Speaker and your team, I congratulate you for working harmoniously with the Executive. I'm told some of the foreigners are saying that Anita Mongo, because he doesn't undermine the Executive, she's not a good speaker because she should be Okulemesa, government. Very risky miscalculation. In the recent budgeting process, Honourable Speaker, I congratulate you for working harmoniously with the Executive. I also want to salute the judiciary. In the recent budgeting process, you came together and you were able to synthesize a rational and transparent budget for the country. I called these people. You know, these are like school children. That there is executive somewhere, then there is a parliament somewhere else, then there is judiciary somewhere else. They don't meet. Then this one budgets, then brings the other one. I said, but why don't you first agree together? You are all here in Uganda. Your address is here. Why can't you meet and you look at the whole budget? They came and they looked at it, and the budget they brought was harmonized by the three arms. They were able to see that we need this, we need that, we need that. So I want to thank the Parliament and the judiciary. In the recent budgeting process, you came together and were able to synthesize a rational and transparent budget for the country. Now, on the issue of the corruption, my advice is you should make a distinction between mistake makers and dishonest people. Dishonesty is the worst. But making mistakes, especially for many people who have not listened carefully, it's not. I wouldn't be surprised. That's why many times I try to help out groups who have made mistakes. But what I cannot tolerate is like this question of saying, we give money to this ministry, but we take a percentage of it as individuals. This is dishonesty. It's not a mistake. It's a crime. It's a betrayal. Or the ones who go abroad, these foreigners have been approaching our people. They all bring reports. Have been approaching our people. You go and make a bad report against the government of Uganda, and we shall give you an award. And the award will have so much money attached to it in Europe. I wish them good luck. That money of betrayal, we are following it up. We are following it up. They think that we are fools. I don't know why they think so. But we follow all that. So those two, the dishonest and the traitor, are the ones we are targeting. The mistake makers, we can cancel them and show them how to do things. Because if we are because they don't know what to do, to listen to, languages. This one is saying that, this one is saying that. So dishonest. There are so many languages. This one is saying that, this one is saying that. Foreign agent, mistake maker. Those are three people who need to be handled differently. In the recent budgeting process, you came together and you were able to synthesize a rational and transparent budget for the country. I want to end by congratulating the UPDF, the Uganda Police Force, the intelligence services, and the prison services for guarding the 3 million pilgrims that were at Namgongo recently. I salute all the Ugandans for the good work you are doing. Madam Speaker, it is my pleasure to declare the 4th session of the 11th Parliament open. I thank you very much and hope that the coming session will be fruitful. God bless Uganda. God bless Africa. Apoyo Matek.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for a clear and a concise exposition of government advice that you've given in your address today. I take cognizance of the government legislative agenda for the 4th session, and we pledge our utmost commitment towards prioritizing government business and making sure we exhaust it within the time that is required. Honorable members, His Excellency will be back on 13th June 2024 to deliver the budget speech. By next year, at this time, we will only be left with 3 months to nomination. And we really want to thank you for all the support that you have given us. And before I conclude, I want to recognize our colleagues, the former speakers, who are around here. We have His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, former Speaker of NRC, 1989 to 1996. Thank you so much. We have the Right Honorable Professor Edward Rugumayo, the Speaker of the National Consultative Council, 1979 to 1980. We have the Right Honorable Edward Sekandi, the Speaker of Parliament, 7th Parliament and 8th Parliament. That's 2001 to 2011. We have the Right Honorable Alhaji Moses Chigongo, who was Vice Chairperson to His Excellency in 1986 to 1996. I want again, once more, thank you, Right Honorable Right Honorable former Speaker and now the President of Uganda. We are very grateful for your address, and we don't take it for granted for you to create time. You and Mama, we want to thank you so much for coming and for opening for the fourth session. We also want to thank the members of Parliament who were able to make it here and be here with the President. We want to thank the executive, the cabinet, for being here, and in a very, very special way, we want to thank our visiting speakers and our ambassadors that are here. Thank you so, so much for coming over. And after this, we will invite all our guests, and I'm saying all our guests, for an evening session at Parliament. We have an evening session. This session is over, so we shall invite all our guests for an evening session in the conference hall in Parliament. You're all most welcome.
Adjournment.
Honorable members, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, honorable members of Parliament, we are adjourning the House to 13th June 2024 at 2 p.m.
The anthems.
Distinguished guests, we kindly request that you remain in your positions until we are done with a very special photograph. And with the presiding officers, including
address there, the president hinting on critical areas there that we'll be briefing you about here. But the State of the Nation's address budget address. But a few pointers that the president